welcome to another video. Today we are watching I Scientifically Explain Why Guys Play as Girls in Video Games. A lot of you will pick the female characters when you play a gacha game, when you play a fighting game or a shooter game. You'll pick the female character and then you'll be like, it's because the hitbox is smaller. Is it really? If you guys want to join us and watch these reactions live, you should come over to Twitch. I also stream games on YouTube. And if you're watching this on the month of October 2025, we're doing a whole month of special horror games and stuff like that. So let's go, let's go.
Are you a boy or a girl?
I'm a girl.
A common question that many video games ask the player to answer. But in the world of video games, you don't have to pick the option that matches what's in your pants, leading to many game boys playing as game girls and vice versa. But I'm gonna focus on why guys...
Honestly, I always play female characters. I like the cute characters. Like, for example, I play Marvel Rivals a lot, right? You know the male character that I play in Marvel Rivals? Rocket Raccoon. I sometimes play Punisher, but I play it with a frown on my face because I really wish Punisher would be a cute girl.
Play as gals because there's not as much data on why women play as men. And because I myself am...
When I used to play as male characters, it's either because it's like a character-based game like League of Legends, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, you know, where the character that you pick like changes the thing, and then I just happen to like the character's skills. But in most games that I play as a guy that aren't that type of game, it's because I don't have another option. It's because it's like I only get to be a male character. I always choose the female character, basically.
I'm a manly man who can speak from experience on this.
Heck
Alright,
yeah.
let's crunch some numbers.
Yeah!
Overall, a majority of players like to play as the same gender as themselves. Shocker, I know.
Makes sense.
What can I say? People love to insert themselves into the video games that they play, and according to my driver's license, gender is a part of your identity. I'm the same way with my very accurate self-insert. Now, I know I probably blew your minds with that knowledge bomb, but let's get a little dirty with the details.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna bore you by breaking down all of the data that I found, but you can see it on screen here.
How would you identify yourself in general when creating a character? What gender do you prefer? Almost no women play the male character. I don't usually prefer them either. Interesting.
What I do want to draw your attention to is that 29% of males, almost a third, prefer to play as a female character when possible. Meanwhile, only 9% of the ladies prefer to gender swap digitally. Now, 29% is a high amount of men that prefer to play as a female character.
It is.
So, why is that? Well, much like why I'm never gonna be a famous movie star. There's multiple reasons for that, and I'll be covering them based off of studies and info from my community. And if you're a guy that prefers to play as a gal, let me know why down in the comments. Alright, let's start with the most obvious reason that you're probably already thinking of. Physical attraction.
Luna Snow! I love Luna Snow. She is sexy.
Magnets can pull in metal, so too can a good-looking character.
I'm a Luna Snow main. I have an ungodly amount of hours in Luna Snow. She was the first character that I played, and I used to be a Luna Snow one-trick when from the beta until season 1, I think I was a Luna Snow one-trick.
Model pull in the elusive male gamer. It's as simple as that for some guys. When given the choice, they'd rather see an attractive, curvy woman on screen.
Invisible Girl is a very, very popular choice for her attractiveness as well.
Chiseled, buffed up stud muffin. Although, nope, don't get distracted by the cape.
Okay, I was about to say all of the Marvel Rival characters have good butts, and then Punisher just proved me wrong. Never mind. The majority of Marvel Rival characters have good butts, regardless of gender, except for Punisher, apparently.
As they say, if I'm gonna be looking at someone's butt for most of the playthrough, I'd rather it be one I want to be looking at. So it's no surprise that this reason was the most voted on in the poll for my community. And honestly, I can't argue with that logic, and there's nothing wrong with that, as at the end of the day, it's just a video game. I know I've picked the female options sometimes just because they're easier on the eyes. And when I was a teenager, I sometimes bought whole games just because a hot girl was on the...
Bro, Tomb Raider's a classic for that.
box art. Shout out to Mr. Mosquito, because I bought that game solely because of this image.
Did any of you guys ever play that game? Because I really need to understand what is on my screen. What? I need to know why. I need to know why this is in a game called Mr. Mosquito.
And that definitely wasn't the only video game decision that I made because of my hormones. I remember having my parents buy me Mass Effect solely because of the romance scenes that I heard about when my dad left Fox News on during breakfast.
It's made for Microsoft's Xbox system, and it features in some parts of this, you'll see full digital nudity.
Dude, I know a lot of people did that with like The Witcher 3, GTA 5. I know that a lot of people also did that for Baldur's Gate 3, but that one is more recent.
And yes, Teen Rave did try to have both Ashley and Liara. Hormonal Rave did not care that she was a space racist, I guess.
It's
What?
not racism, not really.
I would also really like to know the context for that. Are gamers usually the worst type of you? Okay, that's crazy. Not the worst by a long shot, just useless, entitled, and immature. Damn, did we deserve that? Was that? Well, it is deserved to some people, but not. Come on, come on. Gamers is a lot of people.
Gamers are people at the end of the day, and most
We
people like
are.
looking at someone that won the genetic lottery. See, now you're either looking at Scarlett
That's
Johansson
true.
or Ryan Reynolds, and not.
I'm glad that I don't have an eye tracker.
Now, with that in mind, a guy may prefer to play as a female character because that's what he's attracted to. And you can bet that this works in developers' favor too, since hot people can sell just about
jeez.
anything, and
Oh.
devs know this. It's why there are whole games dedicated to.
Bro, Nikkei is a, yeah. I also liked Nikkei. I really liked some of their character design, but some of them are a little, yeah.
Thick anime girl jiggle physics, why fighting game characters dress and look like
Jesus
this, and why every
Christ.
conversation with Miranda in Mass Effect 2 focuses on her genetically enhanced assets.
I think somebody has a little crush. I don't know, Chad. I'm getting a little impression that he might like Miranda from Mass Effect, but it's just a guess, you know?
Rather than her Michael Jackson face. Seriously, they did Yvonne dirty in this game. Not to mention when a big portion of gamers with a lot of time on their hands are teens, it's no surprise how some female skins in games like Fortnite or Marvel Rivals
Oh my
may
God.
appeal to the hormonal teenager. I mean, look at these
Jeez,
examples.
jeez,
Fortnite
jeez,
is a
Jesus.
third-person shooter, so
Oh,
this is what
oh
you're gonna
God,
be
oh
looking at
God,
most
oh
of the time.
God, oh
so
God.
Epic knows exactly what they're doing here. Many teens probably spent their allowance on these skins when they were available.
I used to spend my allowance as a teenager on League of Legends skins. But I didn't get the Gooner one. Okay, well, some of the ones that I got were like kind of Gooner, but it's different, okay? That's not the reason I got them. You wouldn't get it.
How expensive are these skins anyways? 2,000 V-Bucks for a Hank Hill set? That's like
Oh my gosh.
$15. Yeah,
Oh.
I'll just stick to the default skins because I ain't made of money. Oh, and speaking of Fortnite, I haven't played it in years. So what the heck happened to it?
It has Sabrina Carpenter and Hatsune Miku now, which is really crazy.
YouTube kids puked all over it.
What is
Now,
that?
attraction can't encompass the only reason, as it doesn't take into account games that are primarily in first person, or that have a younger main character. Oh god, I hope it doesn't apply to younger main
Oh
characters.
my god, I
Speaking
didn't even
of
think
titles
of that.
with younger playable characters, you ever notice how a ton of YouTube videos about Pokemon have the player using a female character,
It's 'cause
even if
they're
they're a
cuter.
guy? Well, I think that's because of my second
They're
reason.
cuter.
Fashion. This one is obviously
Yeah.
more subjective, but it definitely impacts some people's decision on the character they're gonna play. And I can kind of speak
Oh,
with
that
this
one-
on authority. Because as you can
Those
see, I only
outfits.
wear the most fashionable of clothing. Now, I can't be the only
My boy's dripped up.
one that thinks that the ladies are blessed with better style options in video games, right? They just slay in a variety of cute.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not just in video games. Have you guys ever seen like a Met Gala or any sort of like red carpet event where like a bunch of celebrities will do an outfit with a theme and whatever? It is ridiculous the difference between the male celebrity outfits and the female celebrity outfits. The female celebrities will come up with the most elaborate shit, and then the male celebrities, they just wear a black suit.
And fancy get-ups. Meanwhile, the guys mostly get a variety of edgy costumes. Oh, God forbid a guy looks cute. And since
That
this
was
was the
cute.
second most popular option in my poll, I guess I'm not alone in thinking this. Games like Pokemon, Monster Hunter, and various other RPGs may, in some guys' opinions, just give cooler or more stylish clothing options to
True.
females, so they choose to roll that over a
I think it's because also, like, a lot of people see fashion as a very inherently girly thing. And so whenever a guy tries to, like, dress in a more creative way, in a more cool and, like, a way that, like, is more expressive and it's not as conventional, they usually get shamed for it, which is, like, really sad. And so they get to express, like, their interest in cool, different types of fashion in video games by dressing up their female characters as that. Because they don't have that option either in real life or as the male characters in the game.
Heck, I remember changing my character in Monster Hunter Worlds to a woman just because of the outfits. I mean, look at this. It's like an awesome battle wedding dress thing, or maybe it's meant to be a nun. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's cool.
I have no idea.
There's something about battle dresses that I just find awesome. Oh, and this fashion reason doesn't just apply to base games. Mods are also guilty of preferring female fashion over dudes' duds.
Oh my god, the other day, I was downloading Cyberpunk, right? And I was getting like a bunch of mods because I wanted to have like some immersion mods that made the game more realistic. And I also was looking to get some like fashion mods because I'm gonna be so for real. I hate the fashion in Cyberpunk 2077. It's just so ugly and corny. I hate like 99% of the outfits in that game. And so I tried to look for some outfit mods and stuff. There were basically only female character fashion options, you know.
For instance, when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3, I found the hair and clothing options to be a bit lacking. So I headed on over to Nexus Mods for some modifications to add some extra options. And oh boy, did I find so few mods for the male characters, but way more feminine-focused hair options.
I think every single game that I've tried modding, I barely ever see modding options for like for the male characters to give them like more hairs and more it's so rare.
Faces and clothing choices. And yes, I did see those other mods for the lady models that I did not install.
Oh god, yeah, that was also in my Cyberpunk 2077 research. It was a little traumatizing, if I'm being honest.
Not show on screen, but you know what I'm talking about, you freaks. Now,
I
all
do.
those extra options almost made me roll a female character, until I decided to play a balding dark urge gnome bard that's named Ganoin. I think I made the
that's
right
an
call.
awesome
Even
name.
when there are equal amounts of clothing and hair options for male and female characters, sometimes women's clothing just looks better. It is so true in real life, in my opinion, and I would love to show you some real-life examples, but when Googling,
I don't really like the examples that he has on screen. Why did he pick like the most basic possible fashion outfit? Okay, I really like, for example, I really like female like alternative fashion. It's really not as much of a thing for guys. Like male alternative fashion is usually a lot more bland. Even though it looks cool, it's still a lot more bland than the female versions of it. It's a little sad.
I get the most boring examples. I did not want multiple images of the same
Okay,
jean
I thought you were saying that fashion was cool.
and shirt style, Google. Thanks. But assuming you go outside and touch grass and go to parties, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, where was I? Oh yeah. Dresses and skirts just have so many different forms that can fit into a variety of game worlds like
He's picking some really lame. Go to Pinterest, bro. Go to Pinterest. Look for dresses images in Pinterest. You're gonna get some much more, like, way prettier examples than that.
ancient, modern, fantasy, and much more. Yet guy outfits are usually not as flexible for a ton of different fashion varieties. A suit and male armor look good, but there's only so much you can do with it before you get tired of seeing something cool or edgy. Then on top of that, sometimes women just look better in the same outfit compared to men. It's not fair that they can pull off suits.
Damn, that looked really nice.
Meanwhile, my hairy legs would ruin a skirt so badly that I'd be jailed for war crimes. I'm not Scottish enough to pull off a kilt. Anyways, this fashion bias then bleeds into video games, with female options having more clothing choices that are cool, cute, serious, or just plain old fashionable.
And more variety of styles as well.
They prefer to play a girl character so they can live out their dreams of being able to afford amazing fashion varieties without creating tons of waste and backing underpaid labor overseas. Seriously, quick fashion is awful IRL, but video game fashion avoids all that extra baggage as well as the hefty price tag. And a quick tip for you. Donate your old clothing if you can, folks. You get a tax break, you help people, and you cut down on the waste in landfills. It's a triple win. Alright, so those are the visual reasons that a guy may choose to play as a gal. But now let's consider the advantages of this decision that a dude may consider. To explain this, I need to go back in time to the mid to late 2000s, when old school RuneScape was new school, and WoW was
Y2K nostalgia!
at its peak with Wrath of the Lich King. You're a new player walking through the streets of Varrock, and you see a guy type the famous line, "Buying GF." And you think to yourself, it's kind of weird to buy a fictional girlfriend, but whatever. Then
Wait, that was a thing? Does that mean what I think it means?
find some scantily clad night elves dancing their dirty knife-eared models.
Please tell me that buying GF doesn't mean that they were paying somebody the game currency to have them roleplay being their. That's not what were they do. Is this like the ancient version of like trying to get a Discord kitten and stuff like that?
Off in Stormwind Capital for gold. And you think to yourself, do guys give girls free stuff in games?
No, yeah, I never got free stuff orphan game. Bro, it was really funny because like when I was a teenager, I had like a bunch of my male friends. They would like make accounts in the game like in League of Legends, for example, with female names because they would try to bait other guys into giving them free skins and stuff. So they would like pretend to be a girl. But the actual girl, I never got that sort of shit. You know, I never got stuff for free just for being a girl. That's a myth. That's a myth that a lot of people believe in. No. I mean, the only situation where I can imagine somebody doing that, like giving somebody a free sting in a video game, is if they are already like more acquainted with that person, like they date that person. That is a completely different thing from just seeing a random female name in the video game and gifting them a skin. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
And the answer is yes, of course they do. And that's why some dudes play as a chick, so they can get those free goodies from simps that just can't get enough of those polygons. In some cases, the girlfriend bot or the night elves dancings may be girls IRL, or they may be girls.
Okay, to be fair, I am younger, so like when I started playing a ton of online games, it was becoming more and more common for girls to be gamers. Like I feel like nowadays it's not that shocking of a thing for a girl to play a video game the same way it was back in like 2010 or like 2005. Maybe it happened back then when it was like a lot more rare. I wouldn't know. I'm not really sure.
Guy in real life just looking for perks. And for those of you too young to know, that was a real term used back in the day, but we've kind of moved past
that is crazy.
In some games,
that is really
particularly
funny.
MMOs, these are some real potential advantages that some male players may pursue, but not the only advantages playing as a female character can.
Honestly, that makes I feel like the most of the times that I hear about people getting stuff for being girls, it's usually in an MMO, but I never really played an MMO that much, so I don't know either.
As it was found in some studies, when searching for guilds or groups, it may be easier for a female character to find one, as a player may have a bias to act more chivalrous or charitable to a potential girl gamer.
Bro, I wish it was still like that. Maybe it's just the kind of game that I play, because like I play competitive games, right? Whenever I play Valorant, for example, yes, I play Valorant. Whenever I play Valorant, I say anything, it's so cringy, because there will be like these grown-ass men. As soon as I say, oh, there's people A, they'll be like, oh my god, girl, how old are you? Where are you from? Are you pretty? Are you single? Do you have a boy? Play your damn game, bro. You are bottom fragging, doing nothing in the game, and you're trying to use fucking competitive queue as a dating simulator. Have some shame. Download Tinder. Why are you flirting with me on Valorant competitive queue?
Want to be nice, or maybe because they want to flirt in group chat. Who can say? And that flirtation can also be leveraged if desired to help go beyond raids and dungeons, but also carry them through harder quests and farming. Now that's not to say that playing as a female character is all loot drops, simps, and free gold, as it can also have the opposite effect of leading to harassment and negative comments by some guys online.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a...
It's 1/3. Like it's evenly divided between they will flirt with you very aggressively in a really weird way, even if you're like, can you just play the game and stop doing that? Or 2, they will be very mean and toxic to you for no reason just because you're a girl. Or 3, they'll be normal and leave you alone and just treat you like everybody else. When I can talk for the whole game and people are just treating me like everybody else and being nice and I love that. That makes me so happy. Be that type of person, chat.
But assuming you stick to text chat and avoid online shooters, you can at least minimize this. Since
the
according
online
to a 2020
shooters.
study, female players in online shooters receive 3 times more negative comments compared to male players.
What did I just tell you? I need to stop playing shooters. I need to stop playing competitive games. That's my problem. That is my real problem, is that I play too many shooters.
And really, we all knew shooters were more toxic than those hot dogs you see spitting at gas stations.
Yeah.
Seriously, who buys these? But they'll never reach the peak toxicity of Xbox Live on the original Xbox.
Bro.
Good times. Now there's another potential advantage in multiplayer-focused games that a dude could experience by playing as a dudette. Underestimation. It seems that some players view girls as easier targets in PvP-focused modes. And since these PKers can't feel good about themselves unless they're ruining someone's day, they may target female characters. So some experienced male players have taken to using a female model in order to lure other PvPers out. That may overextend because they see a girl as an easier target. And I don't agree with this mindset at all. If I see someone in a PvP focus mode, I'm running like it's Ted Bundy.
I I've never played a game similar to that, but it would be so fucking funny.
Themselves boy or girl. I'm just trying to train my prayer, leave me alone. So next time you see a girl in the RuneScape wilderness, don't underestimate them. Now there's one other potential advantage to using a female model that originally I wasn't going to include, but enough people mentioned it in the poll that I posted that I've got to talk about it, and that's hitboxes. So the idea is that since a woman's—
This is just copium. I'm sorry, this is copium. Maybe once again it was different in the older games, but like in modern games, I feel like they all have the same hitbox, or if they have a different hitbox, it's because they're a different role. For example, Marvel Rivals. Emma Snow has a way bigger hitbox than Loki. It was very true in Overwatch, but I feel like in Overwatch is way more like role-based, like a support character or a DPS character is gonna be way smaller than a tank character. It's much more about the role that they are than actual gender. They usually try to make them like fairly even. It's about the like HP that you have.
game model is usually smaller than a man's, that must mean that a woman's hitbox is also smaller, thus making them harder to hit. So some guys will play with a female skin
What about the
just to
twinks?
get a slight edge in particular video games. Now, is this an actual thing? Heck if I know. Do I look smart enough to be a video game developer to you?
I'm pretty sure that, like, for a lot of games, the developers have, like, a pre-made skeleton that they just copy and paste to a bunch of different models. And, like, usually the hitbox will be bigger than the model itself to be, like, a bit more forgiving with human error. I'm pretty sure that it's just copium.
Regardless of whether it's a real advantage or not, guys still use it as a reason to gender bend online, so it bears mentioning. Alright, next up I want to bring up a niche region to get in touch with your feminine side in story-focused games that let you choose your gender, and that's voice acting. When a game has a male and female VA, the tone, delivery, and sound of the voice acting is going to be different, obviously. And for some people, in most cases, they prefer the female voice over the male one.
Sounds great.
Games like
I like
Fallout
the
4
female
with Courtney
voices.
Taylor as the sole survivor, Cyberpunk 2077.
I feel like in a lot of games that I played where they give you two options, the masculine one is usually a bit more edgy. And then I feel like I find it a little funny. There's definitely ones where the female voice is also very edgy. Usually they sound a bit more silly and like cute and like they're not that edgy. They don't sound like they're trying to be badasses, you know?
11 with Jeremy Lee as V, and Mass Effect with Jennifer Hale as Femsha are all amazing voice actresses with tons of people picking the female character because of their performance. Now, that's not to say the male voice actors are bad. They rock the mic too. It's just a preference thing. I mean, when I heard that the female voice actress for the Trooper in Star Wars The Old Republic was the same as Femsha, I had to play as a woman just because of that.
I'm a charming person. What can I say?
Do I sound like that?
As long as I've known you, yeah.
Okay, how many times am I gonna bring up Mass Effect in this video? Obviously,
He has a special interest, okay? Respect his special interest.
this preference doesn't apply to all players or even cross all games for some people, but when a ton of games feature the gruff and tough male voice in game, it's no surprise that some players will pick a female voice when given the chance. Especially if the voice actor is someone who voiced a favorite character of yours from something else.
I definitely have a preference towards like cute characters, and this is in general. Like, there's even some female characters that are like more badass, and then I don't relate to them more. I really like playing with characters that are cute and that are like silly and wholesome, because I feel like I just can like relate to them better, and I find them like more fun to play. Which is why I usually don't play like mommy characters that much. Like if it's in a character-based game, I usually pick the cuter ones, you know.
For example, V is the same voice as Makoto in Persona 5, Femshep is Bastila in Knights of the Old Republic, and the sole survivor is Jack in Mass Effect. Gosh dang it, I did it again! So if you grew up with those games or are just big fans of them, knowing that these characters' VAs play the main character is gonna hold some weight. So while it's
Makes
probably
sense.
not the biggest factor for some people deciding to play as a woman, it still bears mentioning. Now the next reason is something that I've coined macho fatigue. You know how I mentioned that some players may pick the female character because it's a nice break from the male voice in games where you can't pick your gender? Well, take that and crank it up to 11. When you've got fantastic games like Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War 2018, The Last of Us, and more, where you play as a sad dad that lost a kid and slowly learns to open up emotionally over—
Oh my god, true! All of them is a sad macho dad though. Okay, that's really funny.
The course of the game, you may want to play something a bit less testosterone fueled. So you play as a woman. Now that's not to say that female characters can't be as violent and emotionally distanced as the male characters.
Yeah, some of
especially
them
when at the end of the
definitely
day, you control and guide the character, male or female. It's just to say that for some guys, playing as a female gives them a safe environment for them to play a little bit more emotionally in tune. It sounds stereotypical, and that's kind of cause it is, but it is the mindscape of some people. But in reality, it's just a way for them to
It makes complete sense. I can completely understand this, honestly.
explore a more emotional side to them by framing it as being a woman. TBH, this group is probably a very small portion, and while it is stereotypical, it does still give them a way to express a side of themselves that they may not show IRL, and could be helpful in a way, so whatever.
That's
Games, while
cute.
fictional, can create real emotional responses where it can help you understand how to deal with grief, care for those less fortunate, or they just really tug on your heartstrings. And if playing as a girl helps people be a little bit more responsive to those lessons, then I'm okay with that. Alright, the last reason is a big one, and it's sexuality and gender. If you didn't know, some biological males are gay or trans, and personally prefer to play as a woman character because it just feels more comfortable. And no, I'm not saying that any guy that plays as a girl is either gay or trans.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You live your life however you want, and if playing as a woman helps you better
No way, some people are gay. Oh my god, I'm shocked.
express yourself, then go for it. What I am saying is that it makes sense and has some juicy data backing it. In a 2020 study, they found that trans players expressed that the character creation aspect of a game helped them better explore their gender identity. And many
that
trans
makes a
women
lot
even
of
expressed that their
sense.
first experience living as a woman was through some digital avatar. And in a VR study, it concluded that 71% of participants found VR social spaces to be more comfortable when presenting their gender identity. You can also be a furry with huge eyes and bazongas.
Okay, I was not expecting that. Holy I can personally attest to this reason. Well, not the 30 part. Too late, Raven. Self-report. You spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. Now you're a furry. I'm sorry that I don't make the rules.
Wrong with that.
As for Game, an EverQuest
Oh
2
my
survey
gosh.
found that homosexual players were more likely to gender swap than heterosexual players.
That's interesting.
Games are all about escapism, so they can help people with different gender identities or
I think like also back in like some games that they like gender lock romance options, which is something that I really hate. It makes me so mad. But some games they will like gender lock a romance option. So like for example, if you're a gay guy and you want to date the male character that you like, then you're like forced to play as the female character so that you're able to do that, you know?
sexualities truly express themselves. Isn't that why we play video games anyways? To experience being somebody we'd rather be? For example,
True.
I don't play Animal Crossing just cuz. I do it to experience being a homeowner, which I'd rather be, but that's not happening anytime soon. Now, I know that I said that was the last one, but I do actually have one more that I found that I couldn't
That's why Baldur's Gate 3 is so beloved. They aren't locked. Yeah, dude, I really hate it. I feel like games that have a romance option, either if they're gonna make a locked romance option, they should give you a ton of them. For example, that's one of the things that makes me quite upset in Cyberpunk is that I play as a female character in Cyberpunk, right? And there's like a few romance options with female characters that are locked. Am I really gonna have to play the whole game again as a guy, which I don't really want to, just so that I can date the girl? I understand that sometimes they do it because like, oh, real people have sexualities that like, some people are straight and you won't be able to date them if you're the same gender as them. And some people are gay and you won't be able to date them if you're the same, if you're a different gender than them. I would just like to have the game let me date whoever I want.
fit anywhere else, and that reason is comedy and irony. Some guys just find it funny to play as a girl, not because being a woman is inherently funny, but because playing as the opposite gender can be kind of hilarious. It's a trope in cartoons for a reason, y'all.
Honestly, one of my favorite things is when I see like, you know when you see like these very, very macho, very masculine, buff dudes, like you can smell the testosterone through the screen when you look at them, and they're just like wearing a maid dress, or they're just like doing a cosplay of a super cute character, you know, like a really buff dude cosplaying Hatsune Miku. I love that shit. I eat that shit up like crazy. I find it awesome. I love it.
Who cares what you think? You're a girl now.
Bro!
I don't know how to explain this other than saying that some guys just find it pretty funny to play as a woman and joke about how NPCs are just so into them and how they're just so hot and pretty.
I mean, in my D&D group, there's one of the guys that he always makes female characters because it's just funny. Like, he finds it funny, you know, and then he'll be like a super sexy girl and flirt with everybody in the D&D. It's really funny, you know. I know somebody like that.
YouTubers make those kinds of jokes, and they're pretty funny in context. I don't know what to say.
And my eye makeup is like running down my face. You know why?
It's like how a girl may play as a guy and joke about how handsome they are and how totally massive their wang is.
Maybe I've done that in the past. Maybe sometime. Maybe I have. Maybe. Isn't there also one dude in D&D that always asks how hot the NPC is there? When you're talking to... Yes. And it's the same guy. The guy that does female characters and makes them super funny is the same guy in my table that always asks if they are hot.
A group of friends, it can make a play session even more fun. And those are all of the main reasons that a guy may choose to play as a gal in a video game. But I'm not done yet. Because while there is less data on this, I did get some info from my community on why a woman may choose to play as a man, so let's fire those off real quick. A woman may play as a guy to avoid potential harassment or different treatment, good or bad, just because she's a girl.
Makes sense.
Or perhaps they...
I feel like a lot of people, they get like very angry when they see like women complaining about being treated poorly in a game because they're like, oh, you want to be treated better? You want everybody to simp for you just because you're a girl? No. I want them to treat me like everybody. I don't want them to treat me better. I don't want them to buy me stuff, to help me with stuff more than they are helping everyone. I just wanted to treat me like everybody else. I don't want to be treated differently, whether it is better or worse. I just want to be another person in your team, and I want you to ignore the fact that I'm a girl. It's not relevant. It doesn't fucking matter.
Too light looking at a nice, attractive model, and for them, a male model fits the bill best. Then again, maybe they just feel more comfortable playing as a man. Or they prefer more cool and edgy looking outfits, and male attire tends to lean that way more.
I can definitely see a lot of people doing that.
To really summarize it from what I heard in my poll and what I read online, all the reasons that a guy may play as a gal are the same reasons that a gal may play as a guy. But for some reason, there's a higher percentage of guys that are influenced by these factors when compared to the ladies, and that reason eludes me. Maybe guys just care more about playing as somebody that they find physically attractive. Or maybe...
I feel like for girls, the seeing somebody that looks like you and can be pretty and fashionable is stronger to them than playing as somebody that you find attractive. Like, assuming that they're straight, you know? Assuming that they're a straight girl.
Maybe since many games that only have a single character choice feature a male protagonist, this causes a lot of guys to choose to play as a woman when given the chance, thus causing the difference.
True.
Or maybe it's something else entirely, or a combination of all the reasons. Let me know what you think. Okay, now that is everything on why a guy may choose to play as a gal digitally. I hope you learned something and know that it's more than okay to play as whatever gender you want to online for whatever reason. If you liked the video, remember to like, subscribe, and hype the video. These plugs are just getting longer and longer and I hate it.
Chat! I want to know, do you play as the opposite gender in video games? And if so, what is your reason? Tell us, enlighten me. I would love to know why you do it.